So, fam, and YouTube watchers. Actually, no, I'm not saying that to any random YouTube watchers because no fucking random people are coming and finding this video. Not anytime soon, anyways. I'm gonna just talk out loud about something that I'm thinking about right now. It's coming through. And I was having a wicked conversation in my mind. So I reckon why not have it with you? See, I was thinking, there's people I really love. And there's nothing I can do for them. Because there's nothing anybody can do for anyone. You have to do it yourself. Now, we can heal ourselves together. That's the thing. You don't have to feel lonely while you get true with yourself. You don't have to be, it's like being true with yourself. It's not an alone thing. It's like, who the fuck else are you going to be? Like, no one, nothing else between like you and God, I and God, spirit and God. Like it's, no one else can tell you that. I gotta light my smoke. Wait a second. I've been a teacher my whole life. And a spiritual teacher for the last 6-7 years, something like that. Yoga. And not yoga. Soul. And in that journey, this is my chief discovery, more or less, is that people don't learn shit. Addendum. The people that learn shit are gonna figure it out anyways. That's why they're learning. That's why they're listening to this perhaps and they're like, well, no, I'm learning from you. And like, don't get me wrong, I learn from a lot from the people that I view on YouTube. Only like one or two, actually, yeah, like 1 or 2, 3 maybe right now. And that changes. But the reason I'm listening is to hear myself in them. And that's the way I believe you're listening to me. So it's the wonderful thing about spiritual assistance. We help those that don't need help because they're helping themselves. And that's a bullshit backwards matrix saying, because helping yourself isn't. It's like, that's not like, to say you're helping yourself in your brain, that registers as you need help and no one is helping, so you're helping yourself. You know, when you have guests over at your house and, you know, and it's casual or whatever, and you don't want it, you're not being the host thing, like, you know, it's like, help yourself. Or you're doing the host thing and you're like, hey, feel at home, help yourself. Neither of those come close to being true to yourself. They're not even in the same realm, but your brain and spell magic of words, uh, there is no difference. Every time you help yourself, those things have to register and it becomes that, and so it's twisted. So, anyways. And then there's the people that are listening that aren't helping themselves and don't help themselves because they think that hearing this stuff and the feeling that they get by hearing it is spiritual growth, and it's not. It's watching TV. So I've taken a hiatus from teaching in public forums. I still teach by being myself, just like you do. So then my next kind of attempt is making things, doing things, like just being the change I want to see, creating the change that I want to see. But that doesn't change people. Some dude comes out with a new way to heal something, and that's not going to change anyone's behavior. Not really. They're just going to fill or find a new hole with which to identify their lack, that which needs healing, their wounds. I think what I'm thinking out loud, real healing is achieved when people see others healing themselves. When they see that a better way is possible. So I'm trying to address the unaddressed, because ain't nobody fucking showed me them healing themselves. No, that's not true. My very first inspiration to help myself was Anthony Robbins. And I don't know, he neither here nor there, but he inspired me to heal myself. Because I was like, that motherfucker figured shit out. And his story, he figured shit out. And that inspired me to heal myself. So, boom. And ain't nobody seeing that on YouTube. Not really. It's not enough. And it's not enough to come up with these great inventions. It keeps coming back to people coming together. Because there's much to be dispelled. And there's much that many have figured out. All knowledge is accessible to anyone at any time. It's called self-discovery. Okay, I'm going to try teaching a lesson and see where it takes us. I am a warrior, and one of my battles is against the light. People say false light. Oh, there's the false light. Saturn's false light. The false light. How many people really have you heard made reference to that? Let me mute this. How many people have you made reference to that, and then gone on to explain in any way what the false light is in their life? The only way I've ever heard it referenced by another is basically entity creation. It's another boogeyman, the false light. It's just a false bullshit, man. It's the Matrix. It's the false. What is that? What is that in your life? I'll tell you what the false light is. The false light is our relationship with what we think light is. But you go in any dark room. Why don't you go in the darkest place you can go physically? Okay? And tell me what the fuck is wrong with that. There is no dark without light. There is no light without dark. People say that. What the fuck does that mean? Yin yang. No. We're not talking about yin yang. We're not talking about some pseudo bullshit explanation. Why is the dark the enemy? Have we been conditioned for the dark to be the enemy? Because that's where my mind goes. Eventually. I have to question. Why? Why should I be afraid of the dark? So then I think of white light and what that is, supposedly. All the colors in the spectrum, blah, blah, blah. That's not really true. But anyways, white light, whatever. Visible light. The whitest. You have a white wall and you have a black wall. You shine light on a white wall, it reflects the light. You shine the white light on the blackest black wall, it absorbs the light. So white and black, dark and light, by the way, that's word magic right there, right? Light. Where's the light? Is it a light color? Is it the light in the sky? Is it light because it's not heavy? How many different ways are there to say dark? How many different meanings are there for dark? It all connotates no light. But if I tell you light, your brain literally has to compute what the fuck, which light I mean every time. Not to mention it has to compute, is he saying light? Is he saying white? Is he saying fight? Is he saying night? right? Because all those words sound the same. How many words sound like dark? Dark, stark, quark. Am I can't be running out already. You think that's an accident? So people like to play light as the hero. This is the false light. You cast light, and then it shines away the darkness. Does it really? Sounds like it's bugging the shit out of darkness. Darkness is cool. It's just like everything's all right, and then all of a sudden this fucking glare. This is the way energy works. Light is the discharge. It's the pulling of energy away from an origin. So when there's a light, that energy is being drawn from the darkness to cast. So it's not light doesn't come from somewhere and go outwards. Light is what is drawn in. So light drains, light takes. Okay? Dark just chills. Dark is not the absence of light, it's the absorption of. You could consider it the 0 point. Black holes. Ain't nothing wrong with the light. Ain't nothing wrong. You know what? I'm gonna roll with that Freudian slip because I mean it too. There ain't nothing wrong with the light. Ain't nothing wrong with the dark. So what is the issue? Distortion. You ever try and distort darkness? Like physically? Like you go into a dark ass room with no fucking light, put your hand in front of your face, and you can't distort darkness. Darkness is nothing but fucking true. It is what it is. But light. What's light anyways? You can do all kinds of shit with light. The only way to distort darkness is to distort its meaning. Which, if you hear all the beautiful souls, the ones speaking the most truth, it's still in the language of distortion. Light against dark. What can you do with light? You can do all kinds of shit with light. You can push light. You can change its appearance. You can block it. You can reflect it. You can refract it. You can fake it. It's like, how do you fake light? Well, you can fake light by having two phenomena that are different and giving them the same name and calling it light. For instance, I'm gonna give you three. There's one. Okay. Actually, there's four. There's one. And then there's two. And then the sun. And fire. All of those are light. None of those are the same thing. None of those are emitting the same experience. So the lamp, that's an old school dimming fluorescent light bulb, or incandescent. My laptop screen are light emitting diodes, so LED. The way that the lamp creates light is through a chemical reaction the chemical reaction of that's basically fire. It's like a wire being heated, the thing not melting, then that light bouncing off of, so reflected, or sorry, refracted off of basically fluorescence or phosphorescence painted on the bulb that light up in reaction to basically the bouncing electrons, but mostly the kind of chemical reaction of the like filament wire heating up. I'm combining different kinds of light bulbs in this analogy, but just fucking, you get my point. The light emitting diode is basically 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So your incandescent light bulbs, which are actually so much better for the world and the environment and your brain and your evolution, are constant and can't be programmed to fuck with you. Your LED light bulbs are frequency based, and they can emit frequencies without emitting its your assumed corresponding light phenomena. So it's not the same thing. Fire is oxygen burning, right? There's no oxygen burning in my laptop to create that light. There's no oxygen burning in the light bulb to create that light, but it's all light. And then the sun. You wish you would have had that conversation with you right now, but that's a whole nother thing. Sun's not fire. Sun's not an LED. Sun's not that fucking light bulb. Sun's a mystery. But that's light. I'll tell you, something that knows that those aren't the same is your brain, your eyes. But if you told her the same, there's some false shit being spouted. Okay? Shadows. Let's go back to our dark room. You see any shadows there? Fuck no, of course not. You need light to create shadows. But if I raise my arm in a dark room, I'm still just raising my arm. If I raise my arm in a lit room, I'm still just raising my arm. But in the lit room, there's this shadow cast. And we call that shadow darkness. Is that shadow darkness? Fuck no. The technical definition for shadow is just the privation of light. And shadows are mysterious, man. Shadows are trippy as shit, which is why no, we don't pay any fucking attention to it. But Peter Pan chased his motherfucking shadow, and his shadow ran away. So forget the shadow, forget the dark room. Let's go to a campfire. Because it's going to be nighttime and you're not going anywhere, and that's where you have a fire, and then you're camping. And you're afraid of the dark, so you lit this big fucking fire. Now you're standing by the fire, and you raise your arm. You raise your arm, and it casts a shadow next to you, on the floor next to you, or whatever. And then you look out beyond into the forest, because you're camping in the forest, that's where you camp. And it's really dark. The shadow, when you look down at your shadow, and you look out beyond the light, is that the same thing? Fuck no. It's not even the same phenomenon. It's not the same phenomenon at all. All right? Because when you look out beyond your campfire, you are not seeing the privation of light. You're seeing how light is blinding you. Because if you were outside of that circle of light looking towards the fire, you would see everything. Everything is being lit. There's no shadow being cast towards you, or there's no. In fact, you want to blind somebody in the dark when it's dark, because dark is never, there's absolute darkness is as false light. You want to blind someone at night, tell them to hang around the light. Right? If you've ever been camping, or you just know about the phenomenon, it's darkest. You want to hide from someone. I don't know, I've read a lot of fantasy books and sci-fi books and shit like that, and then it's science shit. But this is definitely coming from some fucking awesome fantasy book or whatever. But if you want to hide from people around a campfire, go pretty close to it. Go pretty fucking close to it. Because the darkest place for those sitting around a campfire is just beyond the campfire. There's like a ring. I guess that's a shadow. But beyond that, it's just night. We make causal things casual. Just let your eyes adjust. Oh, it's dark. I just gotta let my eyes adjust. You just gotta let your eyes adjust. Don't they just do that? Why has it got to be such a traumatic experience? Is it because there's bullshit light? If there wasn't bullshit light, maybe our eyes would adjust to the not dark, to the not absolute absence of light. Our eyes wouldn't have to adjust to the shadows. So instead of looking at what's casting the shadows, let's start looking at what's casting the light. Because we were born in darkness. Ain't no night light in the womb. Light is the appearance, is like the electrical, the dielectric, transverse current of energy passing through a medium. So our atmosphere. When you're in space, there is no light. You can only see those objects from space, in space, that have some kind of mass or I'll just use the word atmosphere. It's not even, but it's got, yeah, it needs atmosphere because you know what? The sun isn't reflecting anything off of anything if it doesn't have anything to shine on. And what we look out and see all the light, it's shining on the air. Space is dark. We come from space. The dark is not the enemy. The dark is not the absence of light, it's the absorption, it's the rest of light. In that analogy, the whitest light might be the least at rest. Dare I say volatile. So all that said, to go back to my first point, what's the point? What are you going to do now with that information? I believe someone is going to see this and rather soon and do something with this information. But you know where they're going to do it? They're going to do it where I do it, within themselves. Because that's why you're listening right now. And you created this information. You created this video through me, for you. But if I went and talked to just someone in my family that I love and explained this to me, and they even found it interesting, you know what they'll do with it? Nothing. Nothing. It won't change their life at all. at best, one might start questioning some aspect of their life that's completely unrelated to light. But what it is related to is them thinking that they understood something and they didn't. But the thing is, I'm only going to have that conversation with someone that is open to questioning their own existence, so as to do something about it. Because I tell you, I haven't really had that conversation with anybody. So what do we do? We get together. We create our world. And we create the people in it. And our whole world could be 5 or 6 people. But if each of the 5 or 6 people that are our family just know each other and one other person, and that one other person can find 5 or 6 other people that aren't like us but are like them, with some with truth and family, that one thing in common, maybe that's how we change the world. Maybe that's how we teach spirituality. Maybe that's the only way it's done. The Father, Son, and the Great Mother Spirit. It's always only ever really been family. Because teaching spirit is breathing spirit. It's living your life and being the you that you believe in. And that's why I make these videos. For the 5 or 6 people that are my family. I love you. No matter when you watch this, I love you. And I'm proud to call you one of my own. I'm proud to be one of yours. Namaste. It's true.